Hey, Jenny, how's it going? Welcome to Travel with Rick.
Hey, Rick, it's good to see you today.
It's good to be here. How's things going? Is it cold up north? I gotta know.
It's cold. It's cold. It snows every other day right now. It's dead of winter for us.
Well, I've been watching all these posts. Last week we talked about Brooks Lake Lodge in Wyoming and all the snow. I've been seeing all these posts. I was thinking about cold and Brooks and Wyoming, and I started thinking about Key West and warm and
A little more
turquoise
like it, yeah.
turquoise waters and soft sand beaches instead of soft white snow piles.
That sounds lovely right now.
As we were wrapping up last week's Brooks Lake Lodge episode, we talked about what we could talk about in the future. And you mentioned Key West, and I just got thinking about it. This week, I wanted to share 5 of our favorite places that we like to eat in Key West. So I made a list, and I said, these are just 5 places when we go to Key West pretty often, Leslie and I try to. And whenever we go there, these are places that if we have more than a few hours there, we try not to miss these places. So I said 5 of our favorite places right now. That could change. Somebody else may not like them. It's just places we like going. How about that?
That's awesome. That's great.
We'll start with number 1. I got to look at my list here. Now, this one's really cool. Firefly. Leslie and I love this place. It's amazing food. It's down on Petronia, which is kind of, you're going to hear like 3 restaurants in the same area that are kind of like almost lined up right there together. But we just love that one. Great food. It has a bit more of a southern flair to it. I mean, you'll find fried chicken, catfish, shrimp and grits is amazing there. Some of the freshest fish, just great appetizers. So definitely wanted to mention Firefly because great line list, great appetizers, always a great place to eat. Then the second one, Camille's. So now for Camille's, and Leslie discovered this place, and we like to go there for breakfast. Just amazing. Leslie truly loves this place. You'll see in the picture. I don't know if I've ever seen her kiss a sign in a restaurant before, but just absolutely loves it. Just, a great place for breakfast. So really, really good. Now, number 3. Now, again, these are in no particular order. It's a random list. So number 3, the Banana Cafe. I will have to say, this is a new one for us. We discovered this last trip. Leslie does the Key West 100 miler every year. She doesn't do the 100 miler, she does a 50 miler. They have 2 races, or a race within a race.
That's so
And
crazy.
we were there for that. And I got to say, Jenny, you're going to talk about the eggs Benedict at your place, but the eggs Benedict at Banana Cafe, amazing. And they had a blackened shrimp eggs Benedict that was just fantastic. But what Leslie loved there were the crepes. She absolutely loved those. The atmosphere, just a cool little place, easy to get into. And if you're on Duval, near Duval, definitely. I mean, if you're anywhere in Key West, it's a 4 mile by 1 mile island, Jimmy.
Go so, anywhere.
Easy to get there. Hop in an Uber, just walk.
Yep.
That's my favorite thing to do is walking around Key West. I park the car. Parking in Key West is kind of at a premium. Once you find a parking spot, kind of want to hold on to it. Don't really want to give it up too much. So we tend to walk a lot or ride a bike or whatever, around Key West. So, but Banana Cafe, one time we ate last trip we were there. We'll definitely be back. We love that place. Now this next one, oh my, not new on the list, Jenny. Santiagos Bodega. I hear there's one in Orlando. I have not been to the one in Orlando yet, but the one in Key West, several blocks off of Duval Street, again on Petronia. So right down from Firefly and right down from the place that we're going to mention next that you love. But what we love about Santiagos Bodega, dinner place for sure. And it's all small plate tapas. So you get in there, and everything is just a couple of bites. The idea is you go in there, with you and someone else or you and a few people, and you just order lots of everything.
Love that. That's one of my favorite ways to dine with a group, like a small group.
Yeah, and you just kind of share, it's great.
Yeah.
wonderful sangria. So we go there, we get our table, we order a pitcher of sangria. They've got these great shrimp skewers that they do with some andouille or a chorizo sausage. The filet, they have these little strips or bites of filet that just melt, beef fillet that just melt in your mouth. So you get like, two of them on a skewer, and you share them. It's a lot like, what it reminded you of is being in Barcelona. When you go to Barcelona.
Yeah.
And what I love about Barcelona is you can go into a restaurant in Barcelona, and if you sit down and order a glass of wine, they just start bringing you food. And so it's a lot like that. And you kind of get that feeling. You don't really get full, to the end of your meal, you're like, okay, we ordered like 17 things. But it is just really, really a great place. Great funky atmosphere in it. Wonderful service, and the food is just fantastic. If you're in Key West and locals know, and people of the know that visit Key West, even tourists know that Santiagos Bodega is one of the finest places to eat in Key West. We just love it. Fantastic.
That sounds awesome. Sounds right up my alley.
You would love it there. We got to, that was the problem when you and I were at Key West on our trip, is that we just had a morning there,
Yeah. Back on the ship at 4 or something, 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't really have a chance to eat a dinner there.
Exactly.
Or have an evening meal. We did go, one place that didn't make the list this trip, and we go there. I should have put it on a list because we go there every time, is the Schooner Wharf Bar. We went there and had a beverage while we were in Key West, right? Great food.
That was fun.
Well.
Yeah, that was a cool meeting up spot because we were with our team of advisors, and so everyone had kind of gone off and done their own thing for the day. And I want to say everyone ended up there having a few drinks together before we got back on the ship. There was that guy playing music, and it just, oh, that was a cool spot. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
Good
food.
They bring in a lot of great entertainers there. So whether it's Michael there, playing, Michael McLeod, I think is his name. And, he's a staple there. People come to see, they come for the tuna nachos and Michael McLeod, I think, and the great drinks that they do at Schooner Wharf.
I remember the conch fritters. And I remember it because I love conch fritters, and up north, you don't ever see them on a menu ever. It's just conch, anything doesn't exist. And somebody ordered, a basket, and I had a little bite, and then suddenly we must have had 6 baskets because there were so many of us, we're like, we'll have one more basket. And everyone was sharing the conch fritters. They were delicious.
Nice. Yeah, everybody in the Keys claims to make the best conch fritters,
I'm sure.
The best conch fritters. I'm not touching that one. I think Schooner Wharf might be the best.
Those were crazy good. Like, crazy good. Yeah.
Conch fritters are awesome.
Makes you happy. Makes your soul happy.
Makes your soul very happy. And speaking of making your soul happy, the last place on our list, and probably one of the most popular places in Key West, to tell you the truth. So whether it be breakfast, which is what we're going to talk about, or lunch or dinner, but what a cool place is Blue Heaven, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was, I remember you saying, oh, we're going to go, there was like a small group of us, we're going to go to this place for breakfast. And I'm like, okay. And we got off the ship really early, like as soon as we could, because you said we want to get there before it gets busy.
Yeah.
I felt like we just walked to it from the ship because you can walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're in a neighborhood. I remember thinking that. I'm like, we're in a neighborhood. Where's the restaurant? And I felt like I was walking into someone's backyard, someone's beautiful, tropical, easy living backyard. It was just like immediately the atmosphere was welcoming, and you had insisted that we all try the eggs benedict. I think most of us did, except Suzanne. And it was, it lived up to its hype. It was delicious.
Benedicts are famous there, and you mentioned that they have pretty good Bloody Marys, I think.
Oh yeah, the Bloodies were excellent. I'm pretty sure I had 2.
Yeah, Leslie always goes for the Bloody Marys when we're there. we love Blue Heaven. So whether we go there with a group of our friends, it's always fun going there with a group and, and letting people share, or whether it's just Leslie and I sitting there after her race, which is, the last time we were there, she just ran 50 miles the day before. And I figured she deserved an eggs Benedict and a Bloody Mary from somewhere. And if you're in Key West, I couldn't imagine any place better, except maybe Camille's or Banana Cafe, to get it. But certainly Blue Heaven, definitely amazing eggs Benedict. They make a BLT Benedict there. Now, all right, I know what just flashed in your mind, folks. I'm not talking bacon, lettuce, and tomato. No. Bacon, lobster, and tomato, if you're in Key West, is what this Benedict is, and it is amazing. So you can get your typical Benedict, I guess, which has Canadian bacon and that sort of thing, or you can get the BLT that I just mentioned. They also have a sausage one. They just have a variety of eggs Benedicts, which are just fantastic. And there's just nothing like sitting out there, and you literally do feel like you're in somebody's backyard, because you sit in kind of a courtyard area surrounded by trees and tarps to cover, because occasionally it rains in Florida, even in Key West. And occasionally iguanas like to get into trees. Lizards climb trees and sit on the canopies sometimes. So it's not unusual to be having your breakfast and see a rooster or a chicken come walking by, because you're in Key West. And it's not unusual to see an iguana up in the tree, scoping out part of your Benedict. Yeah, don't leave it unattended.
No. I remember you telling me about the lobster Benedict beforehand, and I had to think about it, because I don't order lobster when I'm in Florida, because I'm from New England.
Right.
I'm actually from Boston, and my uncle was a lobsterman. So for me, my lobster standards up here, but I ended up ordering it because I thought, well, he can't stop talking about it. So I ordered it, and it was amazing. It was just done so well, and everything went really well together.
And I will point out, so that when you had lobster at Blue Heaven on your eggs Benedict, it was not Maine lobster, was it?
No.
Those funny little spiny Caribbean lobsters that we have in Florida that don't have claws. How do they protect themselves?
Oh, it's so weird. I'm like, those aren't lobsters. But you know what I think it was for me, because I am really snobby about my lobster. That's because I eat lobster just, steamed or boiled with butter. That's how I eat lobster. So I think having it with the Benedict sauce and just everything worked.
I will say, so growing up in Florida, I ate a lot of Florida lobster before I ever had my first Maine lobster. So that was my reference. So coming up and visiting you guys in Maine and spending some time up in the New England coast, I became a huge fan of Maine lobster. And now I can definitely tell you without any reservation whatsoever, yes, Maine lobster is superbly better than Florida lobster. Head and shoulders better. Yes.
It's just a different animal, and kind of it just has a completely different flavor. It's
well, I mean, in Florida, when you order your lobster, no one's ever going to ask you, do you prefer tail meat or claw meat, right? Which is a common thing that happens in New England, right?
Yep.
Right. So there is that. And then the fact that, Maine lobster is just obviously sweeter and better than Florida lobster tail, because basically all we get is the meat from the tail. But again, like Jenny mentioned, if you take that tail meat, steam it, broil it, whatever you do with it, chop it up, put it on an English muffin, put some eggs and hollandaise sauce and whatever on it. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's going to be just as good. But I will say, I would like to try an eggs Benedict, a BLT with some Maine lobster on it.
Well, the thing about that might just make your head explode if it was Maine lobster.
It might just be too much.
It might just be too much. I'm thinking about the claw meat, and you can't.
Breakfast over, just done, ruined. Well, Jenny, let's go ahead and wrap up. Guys, thanks for watching. Listen, let us know how you're doing. I know this pandemic is dragging on. We hear cruising is going to start right around the corner. I don't know when. I've been predicting this for close to a year now. So
I know.
hopefully travel is going to turn around. But if there's something you want us to talk about on the show, we don't quite have an interactive call-in show yet. But I tell you, leave us if you've got any questions, got something you want to see, something you want to know about. I don't know about much, but if it happened on Travel with Rick, I can probably find out about that and maybe answer that question. So keep your questions to Travel with Rick and stuff that I know. Drop it in the comment box. We'll probably mention it on our show coming up. We'd love to hear from you guys.
I love it. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Listen, be well, travel safe. We'll see you again on Travel with Rick. So long.
Bye.